Hello students. So in this class we'll continue our chapter 3. So in our last class we have learned what is wool and how from wool different clothes are prepared. So in today's class we will mainly learn about silk, what is silk, then what is the life cycle of the organism from which silk is obtained, and on last we will learn different types of silk present over there. Okay, so let us start with silk. What is silk? Silk is a fine, strong, soft and shiny fiber obtained from silkworm. So if you have seen silk sari, now try to think from the point of view of sari. Okay, you know silk saris are fine, they are strong enough, they are soft and they have some shine. So we can say that silk is a fine, strong, soft and shiny fiber obtained from the silkworm. We obtained silk from silkworms. Okay, it is separated from the cocoons of silkworm. So from what silk is we obtain silk? From the cocoon of silkworm, silk is separated. We obtain silk from cocoon of silkworm. A cocoon looks like this. You can consider this image. Look at this image. This is an image of a cocoon. Okay. Focus on the spelling COCON. Don't mistake with the spellings. It is made up of proteins and it is the strongest natural fiber. So this silk fiber is made up of proteins. Okay, it is made up of proteins and it is the strongest natural fiber. So far we know there are two types of natural fiber. One you obtain from plant, another you obtain from animals. From plants different examples are your cotton, then jute. From animals examples are your wool and your silk. So far we know this is the strongest among the other three, among the others. Okay, which you obtain from natural source. Since it is an animal protein, on burning it gives smell of burning hair. Okay, since it is an animal protein, on burning it will give smell like animal hair. If you burn your hair, it will give a smell. If you burn silk, it will also give you a similar smell. Okay, so you feel like some animal hair is burning. Silk is a costly fiber because of its natural shining appearance. So silk is costly. Why? Because it have a natural shining appearance. So because of this shining nature, people prefer to buy silk more. So if people buy more, the demand will be more. And as we are getting it from some organism, natural organism, so it will be rare. Okay, so silk cloths are very expensive. If it is actual pure silk, then the clothes are very expensive. Because of this shiny nature, people prefer it more. Okay, silk fibers are converted into silk yarn that is used for making silk clothes. So the fiber will obtain from the cocoon, that is silk fiber, it will first convert into silk yarn. Okay, in the last class I have explained yarn. So silk yarn, and then from this yarn different people will use, or different industry will use it for making different silk cloths. But more often we will see the silk sari in common. Okay, this silk cloth is then used for making sari and other dresses. As I told, in maximum cases silk is used for making saris and other dresses also prepared from it. Okay, the rearing of silkworm for obtaining silk is called sericulture. So what is sericulture? It is very important. Okay, remember the rearing of silkworms for obtaining silk. That means someone is taking care of silkworm. They are growing silkworm at a certain place. They are giving them food. They are giving them shelter. They are taking care of them. Why? Because from silkworm they will get the silk, and this overall process is known as rearing. So the rearing of silkworm to get silk is known as sericulture. They are cultivating. Okay. Then China leads the world in silk production. Other silk producing countries are India and Japan. So on this whole universe or whole earth, China is the topper in this case of silk producing. They produce the maximum amount of silk. Then India and Japan follows China. Then after this, there are some other countries also which produce silk, but the major among them are India and Japan. And China is the first nation in producing this silkworm. Sorry, not silkworm, silk. Okay, And look at the second diagram. From this cocoon, what will come out? Just take an idea. An adult silk moth will come out. Okay, adult silkworm will come out. So this is the life cycle of silk moth. So before starting how we'll get silk, we need to know how the organism, that is the silkworm, is developing and what are the different process. So in this slide, just to have a clear idea of the events, different steps, and on the next, from the next slide, we'll learn detail each step. So what is happening on the first, here you can see on the diagram A, egg of silk moth on mulberry leaves. So now we know they are developed from egg. They will develop from the that is silkworm. These worms will develop from the eggs. Okay, where these eggs are laid? These are laid on the mulberry leaves. That means now you can say that on mulberry leaves silkworms grow. First things you know. Then larva, that is caterpillar or silkworm. Then from this egg what will come out? Some larvae will come out. These are known as caterpillar or silkworm. Then this will get converted into a form known as pupa. Then from pupa the cocoon, from which we will get the silk. And this cocoon will then develop into silk moth. Okay, emerges out of cocoon. From the cocoon, silkworm will come out, there is silk moth will come out, and then an adult will develop from this small to an adult. Okay, so now we know there are 6 steps in the life process. We'll learn each in detail. Just given this slide was just to give you our idea. Okay, overview that from the eggs how different events occur. From egg, first it will develop to a stage known as larvae, this caterpillar or silkworm. Then from this stage next will be pupa. Then from pupa will come the cocoon, and cocoon we get the silk, and then from the remaining the silk moth will develop. From silk moth to the entirely adult mature silkworm will develop, silk moth will develop. Okay, so let us go into detail. So the last step in life cycle, the first step is the female silk moth lays pale yellow eggs on the leaves of a tree such as mulberry tree. So we know who will lay the egg? The female, obviously. So the female silk moth lays pale yellow eggs. The eggs will be in what will be the color? The color of the eggs will be pale yellow. Okay, pale yellow color egg. They will be laid on the leaves, tree leaves. Commonly mulberry tree. Okay, mulberry tree. In your book also, in here also you can see these eggs are pale yellow in color. Okay, next is the worm-like larvae called caterpillars or silkworms hatch out from the eggs in about 2 weeks. So after the female silk moth will lay down egg on the leaves, what will happen? After some about 2 weeks, after 2 weeks, some caterpillars or silkworm, both are common term for this worm. Some caterpillars or silkworm will come out from this egg. That is, they will rupture the egg, and from the egg, what will come? The caterpillars will come out after 2 weeks. Okay, the silkworms feed on the leaves of mulberry tree and grow bigger in size. And now what will do? They grow. They will, as the eggs were in this leaf, so the caterpillar will also in the leaf. And what they will do? They will feed on this leaf. That means they will eat this leaf and they will grow in size. Okay. During the larval stage, the silkworm shed their skin 4 times while they grow. So what they will do in this larva stage, they are growing. In this process, what they will do? They will shed their skin. They will change their skin 4 times in this overall process. Okay. Silk is formed in liquid form in the 2 glands in the silkworm head. Okay, silk is formed in liquid form in the 2 glands in the silkworm head. So in the head of a silkworm there will be 2 glands. In those glands silk will be formed as a liquid. So as of now, remember that first leaves are there. On leaf the female will lay a yellow color eggs. Okay, from this eggs after 14 days what will happen? The caterpillar will come out, and this caterpillar will feed on the leaf of the plant. Okay, and they will grow in size. And what will happen during this stage? They will change their skin. This caterpillar or the silkworm will change their skin 4 times. And next what will happen? The silk about which we are studying, where it will be formed? It will be formed on the head, where there is two glands present. On these glands silk will be formed. Okay, so if the question comes where silk forms, silk is formed on the glands, on the two glands present on the head of a silkworm. In which form? Silk is formed in the liquid form. The next is, now the silkworm is ready to enter the next stage in its development called pupa. So now what will happen? This silkworm will change into the form known as pupa form. Okay, you see this, see, look at this diagram. It is pupa form. That is the next step of its life cycle. It will develop into a pupa form. Each silkworm begins spinning, okay, spinning a cocoon by moving its head in the same pattern as that of number 8. Okay, so what it is saying, this point is very important, remember this. Each silkworm begins spinning a cocoon, okay, by moving its head in the same pattern as the number 8, that of number 8. So from pupa, how will get this cocoon? The head of this silkworm will move like this. For example, look at the pen I am drawing. Okay, I am writing 8, so it will move in this direction, like it have started from here. Okay, from where, what will do, it will come in this direction, then organism will move to here, one circle finish, then again next circle, then next circle. In this way this will form the cocoon. Okay, during these movements of head, the silkworm secretes silk in a liquid form through the tiny opening in its head. So just the last slide I told that where the silk is formed on the two glands present on the head in the form of liquid. And now when this silkworm is moving in the form of 8 to form the cocoon, what they will do? They will leave the silk which was initially formed on the glands present on their head into the surrounding using small pores. There will be small pores on head from which they will remove the silk in liquid. Liquid silk solidifies on contact with the air and becomes silk fiber. So how silk fiber is formed? The liquid will now come out from the brain of the silkworm, and after initially it was liquid. Okay, after it will come out of brain, there will be air surrounding it. In nature there is air, so whenever this liquid will touch the air, it will convert into solid. See, liquid silk solidifies. Solid, that means it will convert into solid on contact with the air and becomes silk fiber, and then it will become the silk fiber which you need. Within 2-3 days the silkworm covers itself completely with the silk fibers. So what will happen? Within 2-3 days it will secrete so much of silk from its gland present on the head that the entire organism is covered with the silk fiber. Okay, the silky covering spoon by the silkworm for its production is called cocoon. So what is cocoon? Cocoon is nothing but the organism which is covered by silk fiber around it for protection is known as cocoon. Okay, so you can say that, okay, inside this cocoon there will be the organism, here will be the organism, and around this there is silk fiber. Okay, and it is covered itself in such a way that it will give, the silk fiber will give it the protection, because the organism is not knowing from him you are producing the silk. He is making silk for his protection, but we are human beings which we are using that. Cow is not making milk, or cow is not producing milk for you. Cow is making milk for its child, okay, for its offsprings. But we are the human beings who are taking the milk from cow. Similarly, in this case also, the silkworm is making this silk for his protection, but we are the human beings who are using this for our use. Okay, the cocoon is made by the silkworm to protect it, okay, its development as pupa. So why this cocoon is made? Cocoon is made by the silkworm because it want to protect itself in the pupa development stage. The organism want to protect itself, so it is making a cover around it. This is the cocoon layer of your silk, okay, silk fiber. When the pupa enclosed in cocoon develops fully to form an adult silk moth, then the cocoon splits up and a beautiful silk moth comes out. Adult silk moth lives only on for a few days. So what it is saying, when the cocoon, see on this slide, this is the cocoon is so there is pupa is ultimately covered by silk moth. There is inside this there will be pupa. So when the pupa will be completely mature to give rise the to give the silk moth, okay, and what will happen, this cocoon, there is this cocoon will burst, that means it will break, and from this a silk moth will come out, and after some days what will happen, this will develop into a mature adult one, that means this will develop into this form, okay. See, from this egg now this have developed, okay. So in this overall process it takes some time, some, okay, 2 3 to 4 2 3 to 4 weeks. And what happens at the end, they are saying that this adult moth which have developed over this period of time lives for just a few days, okay. It will live few days and then it will die. So this is the life cycle of silk moth. In today's class we have just covered the life cycle. There's some, in the next class we'll learn the process by which we obtain silk from the silkworms, okay. So let us today learn some different varieties of natural silk. What are the different varieties of natural silk? The silkworm thread is obtained from cocoon of the silk moth. You know, just now we've learned that the silk thread is obtained from the fiber is obtained from the cocoon of silkworm. There are varieties of silk moth that look very different from one another. So in nature what happens, there are different types of this silk yielding organism, that is silk moths, which look different from each other. For example, similarly if you consider dogs, there are different types of dog. Similarly here also different types of silk moth are there who will produce different types of your silk. The silk can obtain from them is different in texture, that is coarse, smooth, shiny, etc. So from different type of silk or silk moth, this silk yielding organism who produce silk will get different types of silk. So all will be differing in certain characters. For example, in your home, if you have two types of dog, two dog will be different in some character. For example, one will be tall in height, one will be short in height, okay. One will shout louder, another will shout a bit soft, okay. Then one may have gray hair, one may have white hair. Similarly in this case also, think in this case, if the silkworm are of different, for example we have A, B, C, three types of silkworm, then the properties of all three will be different. So they are giving silk, the properties will be different. What are the common properties that will differ? The first is quartz, that means if you touch it, it may be soft or it may be quartz based upon this. Then smooth, it can be smooth when you will touch the silk. Then it can be shiny. So based upon these three features, there are some other, there are different types of silk. What are these? We'll learn. First is mulberry silk moth. First is mulberry silk moth. What it is? It is the most common silk moth. The bulk of the world silk supply comes from the mulberry silk moth. The silk fibers from the cocoon of this, okay, moth is soft, okay, then lustrous and elastic. So what is mulberry silk moth? It is the most common silk moth which we have. The bulk of the, there is the overall, if you see worldwide, the most of the silk, natural obtained silk, comes from this mulberry silk moth, okay. And the silk obtained from this cocoon of this mulberry type pattern, what are the different features of this? They will be soft, then lustrous. Lustrous means they will have a lustrous color, that means shining color. They will be soft, they will be shining color. Elastic, elastic means you can stretch them, you can pull them, elastic in nature, okay. It can be dyed in a beautiful colors. Dyed means the process of color is known as dye, okay. Dyeing is the process of coloring. So this fiber, that is silk moth, okay, this mulberry type silk moth fiber, you can color into any color easily, okay. You can convert it to beautiful colors. Then comes tassel silkworms. Tassel silkworms mainly feed on arjun leaves. They produce tassel silk. So this is the second type of silkworm where they feed. They feed on the arjun leaves. So you have heard about the arjun plant. An arjun plant leaf this organism feed. Okay, as you know, this caterpillars will eat the leaves and they will produce the tassar silk. Okay, then comes iri silkworm. So our Assam is very famous about iri silkworm and this moth silkworm. Okay, Assam is one of the known famous region in India for producing this silk fibers. Okay, so iri silkworm feeds on castor leaves. So on castor leaves, castor plant leaf, this will feed. They produce a brick red silk called iri silk. So probably you have heard this term iri silk before. Okay, in common language it says endimuga, irimuga. So in common, if you have heard this term, I guess some of you will hear probably. So what is iri silk? Iri or silkworm, they feed on the castor leaves. Okay, on the castor plants leaf they will feed and they will produce brick red silk. The silk produced by this iri will be brick red in color. Okay, and called as iri silk. Now last step, muga silkworm. So you have also heard this muga term. Muga is also in Assam, muga silk is also produced. So muga silkworm feed on shom leaves. On shom plant leaves, muga silkworm will live. They produce a lustrous golden yellow muga silk. So it will be glazy. Lustrous means glazy, shining. They will produce a shining muga silk. Muga silk are found only in Assam and nowhere else in the world. So you must remember this point. So where I just now told muga is very famous in Assam, because or in the entire world only in Assam you will get the muga silkworm. So Assam is famous for producing this muga silk. Okay, muga silk, what are the properties of muga silk? Muga silkworm lives on the, that is feeds on the, they eat the som plant, som leaves. Okay, som leaves. And what are the properties of this? The fibers will be shining yellow in color. Okay, the fibers will be shining yellow in color. They will produce golden yellow muga silk. It will be golden yellow muga silk which have some shine. Then these are only found in Assam and nowhere else in the world. Only in Assam you will find this. So this is for today. For next class we'll explain about only one topic left. This from this cocoon or the silk fiber, how we develop silk cloths. Okay, so this is for today. Thank you. I hope you will ask your doubts now. Thank you.